Great Scott. Great Scott. Great Scott.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another fabulous episode. I don't know, fabulous. It's here. I'm Scotty V, and you're watching Great Scott. Thanks for tuning in. Does it say that anymore? What I wanted to talk about today was something I brought up in April's Radio KAL broadcast, which will have been up for a day or two by the time you see this episode, and that is the idea that Zack Snyder is now saying that Batman was his idea all along, and that where else can you go after a invasion of the Earth that was going to destroy everybody and kill everybody, and superpowered beings that could topple mountains, for someone to face off against Superman, but to Batman. And once you mention Batman when you're in the room, how do you get away from it without getting all excited about it? Well, I'll tell you how. Any way you possibly can. But I've already covered that. I didn't want to talk about the unlikeliness, in my opinion, that Batman would be a formidable opponent for Superman after seeing Zod and Zod's friends in Man of Steel. But what I did want to mention was that my memory, and I don't have the proof right now, and you'll hear Steve on the Radio KAL broadcast say that he doesn't necessarily remember it, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. My memory is that he came out pretty much right after the announcement at Comic-Con that they were going to do Batman and Superman together in the next movie, the follow-up to Man of Steel, after he said, "Oh, they are going to do another Superman movie." Everyone went nuts. And then he had Henry Lennox come up, Harry Lennox. Then he had him come up and read the quote from The Dark Knight Rises, or Returns, The Dark Knight Returns. And everyone went nuts with that, because for years and years, people have wanted to see Batman and Superman on screen together. And now we have Wonder Woman and Cyborg. But my memory is that there was a release not long after that of a quote that he mentioned when someone asked him what changed his mind. Because at the Comic-Con before Man of Steel was released in 2012, I guess, the 2012 Comic-Con, he said that someone asked him who would win against Nolan's Batman and his Man of Steel Superman, and he laughed and said, "I love Nolan and I love The Dark Knight. I love his Dark Knight trilogy, and I love Batman, but this is Superman we're talking about. It's just a goofy question. Silly that people keep bringing it up. Obviously, Batman is no match for Superman." And now suddenly he's going to be the enemy after facing off against a Kryptonian invasion force. Batman's the only one now who can stand against him, and Snyder was saying it was his idea, and it was great, and it's the greatest thing you think of. This is the kind of thing that's coming off now. Then, after the announcement at Comic-Con, it was kind of mentioned, well, you kind of poo-pooed the idea of Batman. You kind of pushed him away, and now you're kind of doing a Batman versus Superman. What's the deal? And he said, well, this is what the studio wants, and they're my bosses, and if this is the way they want it to go, then this is what... Why are you out here? So what he said then was, well, it was just something that the studio wants, and it's something that he has to do because they're his bosses, and if he wants to keep the job. So before, it was a really dumb idea. How could you bring up Batman against Superman? And now it's then it was, well, they're my bosses. I have to do it. And he was clearly chagrined by it. And now suddenly it's his idea. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and everybody's going to love it. It's going to be great. And how do you get away from it once you mention Batman in a Superman movie? And that might be true. Batman and Superman together hasn't been done before on screen. Lots of fans are looking forward to it. Some people are kind of against the idea because it's been kind of played off as a Batman versus Superman, but we don't know that yet. It could just be Batman investigating Superman, which if Batman was Batman, he probably would. And, with his resources and his money, he would probably try and figure out what they could do in the event of an invasion like this, even though in my mind there wouldn't really be anything that they could do as humanity. Although the human part of Man of Steel was awesome because he worked together with the army and he worked together with Lois and he figured out what needed to be done, and he went out and stopped the one thing while they went ahead with his plan with the other. So it was neat the way he included humanity, and I would guess that that would be something that they would bring up those against those who would detract from Superman, because he would say, look, he had the greatest cooperation with humanity ever, and we saved the entire world. But I like the backpedaling. I find it very funny, and if you look it up, I think you'll see some of these things that I'm talking about. He clearly was upset about it. You know, I mentioned in several Great Scots, and I think Radio KAL as well, that it looked almost like there was a good chance we'd see Zack Snyder depart from the project, which would have made a lot of people happy. But I liked the direction that Man of Steel was going in, even if there were some things that I might have changed or some things some people didn't like. Overall, I liked the feel of it. I wanted to see a sequel, and I think we're going to get to that eventually, and this might be more of a sequel than people think. Who knows? But I do think that he was upset about it, and I don't think his plan was to include Batman, and now suddenly that's the word, that's going to be, that was his idea, he brought it up, and or someone mentioned it, and then he ran with it, and, you know, whatever. Not that he was kind of forced to do it by the studio, which is what he said after the fact. But we'll see how it goes. I'm still looking forward to it. You know, I like the idea of kind of a prelude to the Justice League, kind of showing people that we can do a shared universe too, you know, from DC's point of view, and we're going to do it this way. And I think this movie has the potential to be very, very successful. It's showing many DC heroes together on screen for the first time, and it springs off from the Man of Steel universe with all the characters from that film, and I like that film. So, thanks everybody for watching, and remember, always look up in the sky. Even if you're Snyder and you said that Batman was goofy and a dumb question to ask if he could face off against Superman, but now it's your idea and you thought it was great. I hate my pinched nose.